What's going on, everyone? Matt, Leighton, Shawn here. Welcome back to another real estate video, guys. In today's video, we're going to go through the top 5. Do we have 5?
I think we just came up with 5 in the last 5 minutes.
Top 5 real estate scams and lies in 2019. These are things that real estate agents are saying, sellers are saying, scammers are saying. So, guys, these are the top 5 scams and lies in 2019. I'm super excited because there's a lot of controversy in what we're going to talk about here.
Yeah, and there's probably a lot more. We just came up with this list quickly, and this is things that we've seen recently in the market. We'll start with number 1.
Yeah, what do we got?
Number 1, we see this on every real estate agent's signature lately, is beware of wire fraud. It's one of the biggest things that's going on right now, and there's 2 ways that you can be caught by this. When you bring your cash to close, right? You're bringing all your money to the table for closing. So the lender says you need $150,000 to come to the table. Well, that title company is saying you can either wire that money or you can bring a cashier's check. There's 2 risks for that. One is wire fraud. So what happens is a lot of times these scammers realize that you're selling a property or you're buying a property, and they get a hold of your email address. Don't ask me how they do that, but they have ways of figuring it out. And they get a hold of your email address and they spoof, say, hey, this is the title company. You need to send your money to this account. And a lot of people fall for it. And what you realize is all of that money, as soon as it's sent, is gone. So the way to combat that is to contact that title company before you send any money. Get them on the phone, because once you send that money, it's gone, and then you're in default of the contract.
Yeah, we've had agents in this office in Arlington that have had clients that will wire 6 figures, and that 6 figures disappears. It's off in the coast of, I don't know, the Maldives or wherever people are doing wire fraud these days. I don't think it's Nigeria anymore. You know, back in the 90s, Yahoo accounts always had a Nigerian prince. Now it's like they're getting really a lot better at spoofing these title companies' email addresses. So what they'll do is they'll find escrow companies in the areas, they'll hack into the emails of the escrow agents, figure out when the settlement is happening, and then right before that settlement happens, they're gonna email you the wiring instructions. So be sure you're on the phone, guys. This is a huge scam that's going on right now, and the way to combat that is to hop on the phone when you click send to send your $100,000 check.
Absolutely. And you know, everybody's becoming more aware of this. It's on everybody's email signatures. So just be aware before you send any money, get somebody on the phone. The second side of that is your deposit check. So sometimes when you take that deposit check, it's a cashier's check. Cashier's checks are cash. Don't lose it. That's just the other side of it. There's 2 ways to bring your money to the table, and be careful on both sides.
Cool.
Number 2.
Matt's
an expert on this because he did a whole video on it. It's the guaranteed home sale. Did you ever see this? It's like, hey, if we don't sell your house in this quickly, we'll buy it, or whatever.
I will sell your home in 30 days, or your money back, or I'll buy it myself, or something along the lines of if then, like if this then that.
Yeah, and what we'll say is if it sounds too good to be true, then it's probably
too good to be true. So the way this works out is, all right, I will sell your house in 60 days or I'll buy it myself. Well, that may sound great, and you'll call them up and be like, yeah, I want to do this deal. And they'll be like, okay, well, tell me a little bit about your house. And you're basically going to eliminate yourself from the pool of houses that they do this for. You know, they don't do some condos. They don't do over $1 million. They don't do some in some zip codes. So it's a very narrow pool to begin with. And then once you get in and learn more about the purchase price, it's essentially going to be about 70% of the actual retail price, and no seller with a brain in Northern Virginia would ever agree to this sort of discount. Most listings are going between 98% and 101% of the list price. Who would ever agree to sell their home?
Yeah, so if you want to undersell your house, go for it. And in this market, especially in the DC market, you don't have to do that. You can. The thing is, if your house is a dog and you know it's a dog, there's different ways of going about it. There's so many people that'll buy it in this area, or you put a little bit of sweat equity into it and it's going to sell.
Yeah, I mean, the guaranteed home sale program is simply a lead generation tool for listing agents who will have people reach out, call, text, email to set up the listing appointment. Then what will happen is they're going to shift the program from away from the guaranteed home sale program. Oh, you don't want that, but while we're here, let me tell you about our other programs. And it's done by really good brokerages that actually do market your property and do know how to close a deal. They're not going to close you on selling your home in 30 days or else I'll buy it myself, but they will sell you on, the discounted commission or
the full listing,
or the full listing.
Goes to closing maybe in 90 days or whatever it takes. But very rarely do they actually buy your house, and if they do, they're buying it for way under value, and you're losing.
Yeah.
So be aware of it. All right, number three. Number three is, do you get the same service? So there's a lot of discount brokerages out there, and we're not going to talk about apples and oranges and things like that, or payment. But there's a lot of companies out there that are discount brokerages that say that we do exactly the same thing as all the other brokerages out there. And I would beg to differ, right? Ask some of our clients whether you think we went over and above, or whether those services would.
I think with discount brokerages, there's absolutely room for them in the market. In any marketplace, there's always going to be room for someone who price cuts everyone else. And that's okay, because I think what we're seeing happening, and you can disagree with me if you want, is the discount brokers are, getting rid of all those agents that are kind of floundering in the low to the medium amount of sales, because the discount brokers have better systems in place. Where we run into trouble is when people are under the assumption that they can get the same amount of value from using a discount brokerage compared to a standard brokerage. Because if you go to Walmart and you buy a white button-down dress shirt, it'll look great. You put a tie on it, it'll be fine. If you go to Neiman Marcus, buy a white button-down dress shirt, it'll look great, it'll be fine. But you wear it for a couple weeks, you put it in the washing machine. What happens? What's the quality like? What's the service like? So I think there is room for them. I just think
always is.
If your mindset is you're getting the exact same thing, you're gonna lose.
You're gonna lose. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of them out there. And what I'll say is, there's a particular buyer and seller for that particular thing, right? But it's not for everybody, and especially if the house takes a little bit longer, or if a buyer or seller needs some hand-holding. Most people just don't want to deal with anything. And, there's some out there that, I've had owners call me for feedback. Owners, not the real estate agent. An owner calls me, hey, can you give me some feedback on my house? And I'm like, well, that's kind of awkward, but it didn't show very well. You need guidance to get it to the point of sale. And if you're not getting that guidance, you're not going to get the top dollar for your place. And the amount you spend on a listing side or listing commission is directly reflective on the service that you're going to get most of the time.
Yeah. So I mean, with discount brokerages, they run on a quantity model, on a number. So you're just going to be a number in the system, and there's not going to be that outbound marketing. They might say, hey, we're going to put it on the MLS, and 800 websites are going to see this. Well, there's going to be very little paid marketing, just because that's the margin. You're saving money because they're not spending money on marketing.
Right. There's a lot out there. The one thing is, do you want the warm and fuzzy? Do you want somebody to talk to you? Do you want to talk to that same person every time? Me, on my listings, your listings, you're going to talk to us, right? Every time. We're responsible. With some of these others, I've talked to agents that have gone through these brokerages, and it's a system, and you're probably not going to talk to the same person. So are they going to have an idea of what has been happening the entire time of that listing? Probably not. Whereas we're going to know everything, everybody that's come through, any questions that you have, we have the answers for.
Yeah, to sum this one up, I personally think it's like there's a space for a discount broker, but the lie that's out there is that you can get the exact same thing by going at a discounted rate. It's simply not true. Like with anything that you buy, you get what you pay for.
That's right.
Cool. So what's the fourth lie and scam going on right now?
Fourth one is when you're listing a property and what we do is we come in and we say what your value is, but there's some companies that would come in there and give you the home valuation inflation.
Yeah.
Right? Your house is worth $1 million.
So this is when a listing agent is trying to list your home, and they come in and they want to give you the warm and fuzzies by inflating the actual price of what your house is worth.
Look at your comps. They're out there. I mean, anybody can look up comps now, but we're going to find your comps, and we're going to give you the price that we think it's going to sell at.
Yeah.
We don't want to overprice a property and have it sit forever. I mean, and in the end, you're going to get less than what you should have. But a lot of times I'm in competition all the time, but what I find out sometimes is that brokers will come in there and say, I come in and say your house is worth $850, and then somebody comes in behind me and says, I know that I can get $890,000 for this house. In what world? Because the comps say what your value is. So don't be fooled by this. Talk to people that actually are giving you the comps and giving you a valuation based on what your house looks like and what the comps have sold for. Because anybody can say your house is this and they win the listing, and 3 weeks later they're going to say, listen, we're overpriced, right. You got to come down. That's the worst thing to do.
Yeah, I think as a seller, your emotions should never change when an agent says what they think your price, the home should sell for, or what it should list for. Because as an agent, an agent doesn't really decide the price. The market decides the price. So you should be forming your opinion about the agent on everything other than the price. If you get excited when the agent tells you the price, you're either uninformed or the agent is lying to you.
And listen, I've talked to an agent that never gave the price at a listing agreement or a listing presentation. And if you think about it, that's almost right, because when you've never been in that house, right? So I'm gonna come with a valuation right now that says here's what the value is, without ever stepping foot into your house. I don't know what upgrades you've done, and to formulate that right price, it's gonna take some time. It's not just like, hey, here's your price. We can give you a range, and that's a lot of times what we'll do. But, give us some time and let's figure out. That's what I do a lot of times, is say, hey, let's figure out the right price. Yeah, let's take some time and look into these numbers.
It's kind of crazy that agents can figure out the right price without ever seeing the house. I mean, sometimes we come up with our listing price 24 hours before we go on the market. Like, we want to wait as long as possible to understand what's happening between the listing agreement being signed and the house going on the market, because there could be a lot of activity there. So agents that overpromise on the home valuation and really try to get inflate your ego pretty much to make you feel good inside.
Right.
That's a big deception and a big lie that's going on right now.
One of my clients said, Shawn, someone like that just called me about the unit you just sold.
Oh wow. So it's happening out there.
Yep.
All right.
Fifth one. And this is our last one. And we came up with this list quickly. There's a lot more. We'll do more later.
Yeah.
Your home is perfect.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
An agent comes in and says, you don't have to do anything to this. This is perfect. It happens every once in a while, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
There's some that are really nice. For the most part, your house is not perfect. It's not market ready. We need to take the time to get in there and make it right. And a lot of agents don't do that. They'll just go in, I got the listing, and they'll snap pictures and throw it up.
Yeah.
And you're not doing any service for your clients at that point. You've got to take some time to look at the property. And like today, I'm having a place staged today. There's furniture in there, but I didn't feel like the furniture fit the client that's going to be buying it and fit how that should feel, right? So we ended up taking the furniture out and putting new furniture in there. And I'll show you the pictures in a few weeks. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
But that's the truth. It's like no house is, very few times is it going to be perfect and ready for sale. So don't be fooled by an agent saying your house is perfect, don't do anything to it. Again, they're making that feel good,
right.
Hey, we're going to be honest with you and be like, listen, you're going to need to do some things. So,
and the agent that says your home is perfect, they're scared to leave their comfort zone. They don't want to disrupt you. They don't want to make you upset or offend you by suggesting an improvement. Where if you're a seller listing your house, unless you're living out of a magazine, unless you're living out of a model home, which you're probably not, and if you are, that's awesome. You're definitely in the minority. There are going to be upgrades that you need to make. There's going to be light fixtures you need to change. there's going to be a lot of stuff and a lot of just junk that you need to get rid of.
Man, I wish I could show you this picture right now. I'll show it to you afterwards. But
Yeah.
a prime example is, simple. We've talked about this so many times, but lights.
Yeah.
I went into a place last night. I was showing condos in Clarendon, and the amount of different types of lights that were in there, not like light, I'm talking light bulbs, right? So many different colors, like the bright lights, the warm lights.
All over
These
the
are
place.
little things that you've got to do before you put it on the market. And
Yeah.
man, I wish I could show you my phone right now because I showed you an example. But hit me up later. We'll show you examples of that. It's horrible.
Yeah. Your home is probably not perfect. There's going to be things that you need to do to get your home ready for the market. And if an agent is telling you that your home is perfect, I hope you're selling a new construction home or a brand new condo, or the condo's empty and it has brand new light fixtures, because agents will lie to you when they tell you that your home is perfect.
That's right. So that's it. 5 things. Cash to close. Watch it when you wire it. Guaranteed home sales. Discount brokers. You're probably not getting the same service. You get what you pay for. Home valuation inflation. Don't believe the lie that they're telling you that your house is worth way more than it is, because the comps show you the true value. And the last one, your home is perfect.
It's not perfect. It's not perfect.
It's not.
All right, guys, those are the top 5 lies and scams that we're seeing to start the new year in 2019. Hey, for Shawn and myself, hope you had a super safe 2019 new year. And guys, best wishes in the new year. And we'll see you on here pretty soon.
Happy New Year. Thanks
See you
for
later.
watching.